know, that team's good. I remember they really like. They're not the best. We'll be there, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Just did the pro race briefing and actually found out, because what we just did for the video is I went through race dynamics, and we're gonna kind of show you how I think about a race and kind of plan and expect things to go, and kind of what I think plan out a race, and just how I kind of visualize what I think might happen. And then we'll go and I'll do a post-race talk about what actually happened in the race, and might have to make a little amendment on what I was talking about, because there's a 20-meter draft rule at this race on the bike instead of a 12, so that'll help break up the bike just a little bit more maybe than I originally expected. So looking forward to it. It's going to be a great race.
You have any people you're looking out for on the course with you?
Oh, I mean, as far as pros, there's a lot of good guys out here. It just kind of depends on who has the day, but Greg Harper could be one of the first guys out of the water. Eric Lagerstrom has the bike course record out here. He'll be solid. There's an ITU guy, Matt Sharp, and then Matt McElroy. They're both racing out here. And then, of course, Jackson Laundry and Jason West as well. And then, you know, hopefully I get the chance. My dad is out there racing in one of the waves behind me, so keeping an eye out for him too. All right, well, I'll see you guys out on the course, do a little recap afterwards, so enjoy.
I can't take this. I can't take this.
Jason West.
I'm just going to stand here and make sure you don't get rid of.
Here we go. All right, so day before the race, we're going to try something. I want to try and predict the race a little bit, how I want it to go, what my strategy is going to be like, and then I'll do the post-race interview, and we'll kind of go back and forth, and we'll go through the swim, bike, run, all of that, and just see, you know, was I able to come up with how the race was going to pan out in my mind, or was it completely different? So St. Anthony's Triathlon, I won it the last time I raced it, and the last time they had it, which was in 2019. So course, it seems pretty much exactly the same. I don't think they've changed it for a while. The swim, and everything kind of depends on the wind too, because that'll change the bike, the swim. The run is mostly protected, but it's can still get a little windy. So the swim, there's a few good swimmers here. Greg Harper is the best, I would say, just after swimming against him a couple times. He beat me out of the water in Escape from Alcatraz, so I think he'll be leading the pack. And then me, Mark Dubrick, and Eric Lagerstrom kind of will be in the line behind him. And the way I would like the swim to go and the way that I'm planning it is we get out hard, we kind of sort ourselves out by that first kind of buoy to get out into the bay. And Greg could be leading. If I'm feeling really good because I had a decent swim block, I might be able to take the lead as well. And So it could be me or him. Mark has also swam really well. So kind of a mix of those three. And if Eric is in good swim shape, you know, it could all kind of shuffle up. So I don't think I'll call who's coming out of the swim first. But yeah, and then the rest of the guys, it just depends on how they slot in and if they go. So it'll be a group of 7-ish, because I heard T.O. is out for this race. So 7 most, I'd say 2 or 3 guys at least coming out of the water together. I'm looking to be in the top, you know, 2, if not the first one out of the water. Gonna hit transition super hard and quick and get through it and get out. I'll be the first one out, hopefully, unless, you know, there's an instance where Greg Harper is, you know, taken off and dropped everybody. Swim exactly how I wanted to do it. Got out really quick. Was right next to Greg Harper then. He led the whole swim. He actually, I feel like he negative split the swim, because we went out and I felt really pretty good. And then once we rounded the left buoy and we're out kind of in the chop, he really started to turn the screws and maybe lost his feet in the last couple 100 meters, but was thinking about the bike. So kind of checked that one off as getting that kind of nailed in for how I wanted. My main plan, and where I think the race could potentially be won, is really pushing the first 5 or 6 miles on the bike. There's a 180 that happens within the first 4. So I'm gonna hit it super hard out of transition and try and just drop everybody, make it a fair race, because the drafting rule is about 12 meters. And you do get a little bit of a draft and some help with that. So the bigger the pack, the easier it is at the back. So I want to try and break things up and isolate myself. And I feel fairly confident that if I'm isolated, nobody's going to push like as good a power combined with aerodynamics as I have right now. I just feel pretty confident in how I'm going with that stuff. So push the first part of the bike, the first quarter, as hard as I can, split up the race, and I'll solo it. And by the end of the bike, I get 180 at about mile 18 to kind of check up on everybody. And if I have a minute plus, I feel pretty good about going into the run. I think Eric, he has the bike course record here from one of the years he won it. So that's what I'm shooting for. I'd love to go sub 52 minutes for that. And then the rest of the guys, I think if I do that, I'll have at least 45 seconds on the field. And it's all about getting them to think about second place. So it'll either break up completely because they want to get away from the runners, and Jason West and Matt McElroy and Jackson Laundrie is going to be real confident after his Oceanside victory. But I'll come off the bike. The plan is to have a minute to 2 minutes coming off, depending on who's trying to run me down. That's about 10 seconds per mile that they'd have to run faster than me for the 10K. So again, I'm gonna push those first couple miles, kind of get my legs for the first half mile or so, and then really try and push it out to the turnaround to make sure that they don't really bring back much time on me at all. Because in this race too, when you get to see people, it's all about, you know, putting doubt in the other person's mind that they have no chance, that they have to settle for the place that they're at. So again, if I'm at that 180 and I have more than 30 seconds, again, I feel pretty confident about being able to win the race. So hit the bike pretty hard. The legs didn't, you know, have that extreme pop that I kind of wanted, or the feeling that I wanted just pushing hard, but still was able to hold pretty decent watts and opened up the gap, and had about 30 seconds to kind of Eric, Greg, or some of those, I think it was Greg, and then the next group was like, I think Eric, Matt Sharp, and maybe Danilo or someone like that, and I had about a minute to them, and just went to work through the whole golf course section and just tried to maintain a strong, steady power. The heat started to get a little warm, but honestly during the race I didn't think that much about it. It was only after the race that when I look back, might have been maybe not taking in as much fluids, but felt pretty solid. At that second turnaround at 18 miles, I had maybe like a minute and a half to that pack behind me with Eric and Matt Sharp, and then 2 minutes to some of the fastest runners with McElroy, West, a lot of those guys. So felt pretty good coming in off that bike. Maybe a little gassed, but ready to hit the run. Didn't have the greatest leg feeling. Fell into like a smooth effort, but couldn't really go beyond that for the first 3 miles. And it was basically 70.3 pace. My watch, my polar watch said that I was like 5:25 at the far turnaround pace. Saw those guys. Matt Sharp was within 25 seconds. Eric was just behind him. Matt and Jason West were about 45 seconds. So I picked it up because I knew that I'd have a battle because they were all pretty close. So didn't run out the way that I wanted. Like I said, I wanted to push super hard and just, didn't have it. So tried to salvage what I could, but actually found some legs. Maybe that's just the type of training I'm doing now, find my kind of legs and stuff a little bit later on in the workouts and the races. So kind of a good sign for half Ironman, but not so good of a sign for Olympic distance racing. But held off Matt Sharp until about, half a mile, the 1K to go. Ran strong with him and was pretty happy with the fact that I was able to keep, increasing my pace and responding to that, running with Matt, getting ready for a sprint finish. And then Matt McElroy latched on with about a quarter of a mile to go. And I knew, everybody in that group, we all like a sprint finish. We all, like to turn it on at the end. And honestly, I was kind of waiting and was thinking back to Island House a little bit, how I kind of went first, then Terenzo countered, and then I put in the final little surge around kind of the outside. And even if I took the inside line, I just didn't have the legs today to go with them. When they turn on the afterburners, I was just kind of left in the dust. Was able to respond to most of their attacks up until that final corner when they really went after it. Just ended up third, so podium's always good, but really wanted that win, but that's all right. Have some work to do, know some things to work on. Overall, a very solid effort and a really good day. It's always a good day when you're on the podium, but still looking for that win this year. And overall, like I said, about 2/3 or so of the race went at least according to plan and can be pretty happy with. Just definitely have to clean up a few things because at this style of racing and with the competition that is at every race, you just can't be off. So we kind of knew all that coming in. So on to the next one now. Thanks.